spiral of life. And with the horses, this is tremendously important.
Yeah. Okay, we've had that question in from Christian, who's typed it in as opposed to asking it on the line. And she's asked, you teach that we should add spirit to the horse. And she's saying, is this so he can feel his soul, that when we recognize his spirit? Is that what you're sort of suggesting here? Or is it just to give him well-being, I guess?
I'm not completely sure if I did understand the question right, so I will repeat it. The question is, when I'm talking about spirit of horses, when I'm talking about feeling the horse, being with the horse, have this connection, what is it? What is connecting? What I'm talking about then, spirit, is it soul? Is it only the horse feeling comfortable? Something like this. Is this the question?
Yeah, it's more. I think it's more along the lines of, what does this bring to the horse when you recognize his spirit?
Okay. Yes.
What does this give the horse?
I try to make it short, but we are coming a bit to a philosophical question. but I will answer. It's the way it is, because, for example, if you're with a cat, okay, you can be with a cat and the cat is nice. If you're with a dog, the dog is wagging with the tail, and the dog is nice. Maybe a bird is nice and talking 3 words to you, etc. But with the horse, obviously, there's something different. And being close with the horse is also giving, obviously, another feeling to the person who is close to the horse. And the necessity to be close to the horse is bigger than to a dog, to a cat, or whatever, because the wish to be close to a dog, is something. But the wish to be close to a horse is, and we all know this, obviously different. So the wish to be, so to speak, loved by our horse is so big. Why? Because very simple. The horse in wilderness, and I have been with horses in wilderness, I never recognized them happy. And this is also what the mythology says. The mythology says that the horse coming from wilderness to a human is coming home. So the horses in wilderness, they are a creature on their way. Each animal likes it to be in wilderness, but the horse is not. And I always recognized them a bit sad. And then when I started with horses with 30 years, we took them from the Pyrenees, because I did live in Spain and I had friends there, and I could be with them. And we took them from the wilderness to the stable. We did cut the mane, and we brushed them and whatever, and some pictures you can find also in Dancing with Horses. And we also did this to give them the feeling, so now you're cultivated, now you're at home. And then I could realize, now with me together, the horses are becoming complete, so to speak. So what's going on according to mythology? According to mythology, the horses, they are longing, they are seeking for the soul of the humans. They need the soul of the human. So what I'm doing with the horse, and what's the magic is, if I'm there with horses and I'm achieving quick changings, is that I'm sharing my soul with them. So it's somehow I'm filling them up with soul. This is also my feeling I have. So the horse is widening up and is seeking my soul, is seeking my energy, is seeking all these inner status from me, and this is the connecting. So it's a bit like we are breathing in this moment the same soul. And this is also the moment which is coming so quick. Mark, you also could see it's with each horse that it's different than leading, because suddenly the horse is coming so close to me. The head is going down, and the horse is leaning spiritually on me, and I can do each step, and the horse is following. It's like one being. I'm doing one step, boof, the horse is doing. I can do whatever I want. Even the biggest horses, like the stallion, is shaking with his head according to my hand, like a snake, vroom, from the left to the right side. Why I can do this? Because it's one. The horse wants to be together with me. And in this moment, I know it sounds a bit too much, but I have to say it like this. And when you're observing it, I'm very sure you can feel it also. We are one in this moment. We are sharing, so to speak, the same soul, the same spirit in this moment. Does this anyhow make sense, Mark?
I'm not sure. So let me ask you. Let me pick up on the question and ask you. So are you saying that when through the ages, as man has connected with horses, that it somehow brought more to their lives than they had when they were just roaming free, before their connection with man?
According to how I do understand the world, we are living like thousands of years ago in a symbolical world. So the eagle, the snake, the lion, the dolphin, the elephant, and the horses, they have all their different meanings. And we know all about this. So my daily life is still connected with this. So I like to watch TV. I like to phone to you via internet and telephone. I like all these things, but in the same moment, I'm 100% connected with these kind of symbolic life, like a native, for example.
Uh-huh.
And according to these kind of symbols, the horse, even if it has some similarities to the symbol of an eagle or a dolphin or an elephant, because they are similar in compare to other animals we have, but the horse has a very unique position inside of the symbols. In reality, the horse is the king of all symbols. So if we have a pyramid of all symbols, then we have to put the horse on number one. The horse is the king of all symbols. And this is one of the reasons why the horse is so much connected to the humans. And to find this way, so to speak, I heard one colleague say, I don't know who was it, but I think he said it even in the Stormy film. He said something like fucking horses. They are biting and they are kicking. And this is true. This is absolutely true. Horses are biting and kicking. Because looking to and we have to be very careful with this now, what I'm saying, but according to mythology, Mark, I hope I can bring the sense over, because we are entering a dangerous field. But according to mythology, horses don't have soul. They are sharing the soul with the person they have to connect with. So the horse is seeking for the right person. This is the reason why we get a white horse when we want to have a black one, why we get a small one if we want to have a tall one, why we get a fat one if we want to have a slim one, because we are not choosing the horse. In reality, so to speak, if I'm a horse person, I'm sharing the soul. I have the soul of a horse, which is somewhere longing for this soul. But the horse is still not born. The horse has to be born, reborn, second time born, together with me. So the right horse, which is coming to me, needs me to get his soul. And this is what, on the end of the day, I'm doing. When I'm seeing the horses in the horse's eyes, when they're coming to me, they're empty. And what I'm doing there in Holland, for example, because these are not mine horses, this is the reason why I can't cope with them infinitively for the next year. No, I have to give them back. But I can lend them for a moment my soul. I can give them my soul because we are meant to be together. Once again, we are talking about mythology. We are talking about dangerous things according to our technological Western world. But this is how I'm doing. This is how I'm feeling. You're asking me. I only can be as honest as possible. But in reality, I'm going to the horse and I say, wow, horse, maybe at the moment the soul of your owner is still hidden, is still not visible enough. So you can't reach the soul of the person you're together with. But I will give you an idea, and I will give the owner and all the audience the idea how it is that we are sharing the soul. And this is what's going on in the first seconds. This is the reason why I go /bing bong, puff, now. Because I'm open and I say, wow, come on, horse, take part of my soul. And suddenly the horse is different. There's something different. You can see it even in the YouTube clips. The horse is reacting so much different. And on the end of the day, if you look into the pictures of Janos, of now Marok horses, I have been here and we are producing them in the new book, all the pictures of the new horses I had here. But on the end of the day, they are all reacting in the same way and they are looking in the same way. The eyes are looking in the same way because it's this kind of sharing the soul. So this is what I have been reading about mythology. I couldn't believe it, Mark, because this was my own profession. Then I went to them and I said, wow, if it is like this, then something like this still must be possible. This is how I started to cope with the horses, to share my soul with the horse who was meant for me.
And presumably that's your experience then, because if you said you read it and you didn't believe it, but then you went and effectively tried it, then it has presumably been your experience that is the case.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Interestingly, we just had a question in from Benita Roy, who's asking about people misunderstanding the nature of horses, the spirit of horses, and I think you've kind of almost answered the question there for Benita, I'm hoping. But she's talking about the disconnect between people and horses, and I think that's probably based upon how can we change this disconnect between people and horses. But to me, it seems like, without wishing to answer it on your behalf, it sounds like it could be because people just are using and abusing horses rather than trying to connect with them in the way that you described. And I'm sure a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right, and absolutely, this was an absolutely correct resume, Mark. Just only one experience we all have, or maybe I had in the beginning, but you have very often that if you have a horse where you're not connecting, like the swarm of the fishes which are not swimming in the right direction, so to speak, then on the end of the day everything is gray, nothing is really working. And we are looking so much for the moment when everything is right. But when you have the situation in riding a horse, when you have the situation, by the way, very often when you are exhausted, very often when you don't believe in it, very often when you're completely flat, when you're sad, when the heaven is slashing over you because in the private situation everything is going wrong, then, ladies and gentlemen, go to your horse. And you're crying and with all the tears in your eyes and you don't want anything of anybody because you have the feeling that you have to die now. And then you're going to the horse with this absolutely open, naked feeling, so to speak, of your soul. And then the horse will come and will lick the tears and will lie on the knees, so to speak, and you can climb on your horse and you will have a marvelous dance with your horse you never had before. Why? Because it's nothing. It's just being naked, because then by this drama of your life, which you were running through in the moment, there's no mask anymore. There's no trick anymore. There's no lie anymore. There's only pure naked soul. And then you connect with the horse, and everything is working in a marvelous way. And you can go back to life and say, whoa, heaven is still there, sun is still shining. How can I keep this feeling of general love in my normal life? So this is simply what I try to do with horses. For me, for whatever kind of reason, I don't know. It's very simple, and it has been simple from the beginning to do with horses. But I try to do it in general life.
Wow, this is just fantastic stuff. I'm going to ask you two more questions, but before I do that, I'd just like to ask you about your upcoming classes that you mentioned earlier. Clearly the book's not out until the end of the year, I think, as we discussed in Holland. But obviously you've got classes coming up, and I'd just like you to talk briefly about those, Klaus, because I don't know whether anyone else is picking this up, but I'm just getting so much out of this call. It's unbelievable. So perhaps if you could just talk about your upcoming classes, that would be great.
You're talking about the education which are popping up now in the next weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, it's like this, Mark, that the borderline events. I stopped in Holland. No, you have not been there, but there.